Todd Piro with us this morning, joining me for the hour. This is my opinion. Trump seemed emotionally subdued, almost pensive, like a different Trump. I thought he was almost in tears. Is this the new Trump?
I think any time you live through a 72-hour period like Donald Trump just lived through, I don't care how hardened, how tough, how much of a bad your kids say you are and the entire nation says you are. When you go out to an audience like that, that is cheering you when there's a really good possibility, a millimeter here, a millimeter there, they would be mourning you. I think that is enough to make anyone get that emotional. Now, I also understand that he's going to rewrite his speech for Thursday night to be more of a unity speech. But at the end of the day, I don't think if and when he's elected president, he's just going to give up on all of his policies, which are considered harsh and need to be, because we're in a time that demands toughness.
But I'm sorry to interrupt you,
please.
But it's his language that I'm thinking about. Is he going to go back to the harsh, insulting language of the past, or is he going to be the new Trump, softer, gentler, kinder, getting more independence on his side?
I think when he needs to, he has this new ability to go more vulnerable. But when he's dealing with China and when he's dealing with Russia, no way in you-know-what that he's going to be softer and kinder. He's going to be the Donald Trump that America needs and America is going to vote for right now.
Okay.
I just want to add one word that you guys aren't saying. Grateful. I think he's grateful for his life. He's grateful for the unity of the party that's coming around him and maybe the unity of the country.
I think you make a fair point. Here's another one. I want you to listen to what President Biden said about Trump choosing JD Vance as his running mate. Roll that tape, please.
You think of JD Vance? He's a clone of Trump on the issues. A clone of Trump on the issue. No, I don't see any different.
Todd? Biden's campaign is reportedly going to paint Vance as extreme. Does Vance help the Trump ticket?
And a clone on the issues. Well, right now, it seems like Trump is doing really, really well compared to you, Joe, beating you in all the polls. So, why not pick somebody who's your carbon copy if that's what you're accusing him of? Because that person will beat your understudy in Kamala Harris. Does he add anything? Here's what I think he adds. I think he adds a reassurance to MAGA world, to the base, that the guy who's number two, if somehow it's no longer Donald Trump in that seat over the course of the next 4 years, that person's going to carry on the MAGA legacy and the MAGA approach. So they don't have to fear a rhino in sheep's clothing.
He's around forever.
Yes.
All right, stay with me for the hour, please.